Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today I have borrowed this 2022 Honda Pilot TrailSport from my friends at Holmes Honda here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Its exterior color is lunar silver, and we're going to take a quick look at this model and try to answer the question, is this the best trim level of the 2022 Honda Pilot? The TrailSport is going to have obviously some changes compared to what you would normally see. And some of that, well, I'd say you already see, kind of leading into that with what I just said, right? So what exactly are the differences? Well, obviously you're going to see the molding around the fenders, the body here, all of that's going to be different, the fender flares basically. A lot bigger than what you would normally see. There's increased ride height. You also will find the black wheels, the black lug nuts, a little bit of a difference there to give it a more sporty look. And the black mirrors, obviously you're going to see, I think you can see it on the screen, I hope so, the turn signal indicator is built in there. And if you're wondering, are these power folding side view mirrors? They are manually folding, not power folding, but you can fold those if you want to. You also have those roof rails up there. And within the interior, there are some changes also. Let's see if we can give you a good look at exactly what we have here. The yellow contrast stitching right here, that's going to be different. You're going to also have the TrailSport logo. And tell me down in the comments, or really tell Honda down in the comments, while you have the TrailSport logo here in the headrests on the front seat, you don't have that anywhere else on the second or third rows. Do you think Honda should add that in the future? Always curious to get your feedback. By the way, if you're wondering about tire and rim size, these are 245/60 size tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels. And one thing about the Pilot is that it does have a smooth ride, due in part to the 60 series sidewall. The taller the sidewall, there's going to be more meat there. That absorbs more bumps driving down the road. You've probably noticed that if you've ridden in a vehicle with low profile tires. So obviously the badging is going to be part of that we looked at, and pretty much that's everything that's there. I actually did do a video at one point quite a few months ago. I'll try and find the photo from that video where I lined up a different trim level of the Pilot to show the height difference. It's not a huge difference, but there is a difference in the height of the vehicle. LED everywhere you look pretty much. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and even those LED fog lights down there on the lower portion of the bumper right down here. Obviously, Honda Sensing is going to be here to help keep driver and passengers safe. That's going to be adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, the blind spot monitoring, all of that good stuff. What about what's under the hood? Is it capable of doing what you need it to do? Let's answer that question right now. And for those of you who have had a Honda Pilot for quite some time, tell me about your experiences with hauling cargo or a full load of passengers, or maybe both of those things combined, maybe even some towing. Tell me what your experiences have been like down in the comments. Not only am I curious to know, but I'm sure potential buyers are as well. So what exactly motivates this model that is available with all-wheel drive? You can get these Pilots in front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. That is available as an option. The 3.5-liter V6 puts out 280 horsepower and 262 foot-pounds of torque. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. And estimated gas mileage comes in at 19 city, 25 highway, 21 combined. And according to Honda, for every 100 miles you drive, you should use 4.8 gallons of gas. That's something else that I would love to have you share down in the comments. Tell me about your average MPGs. And a quick look at the remote right there. Obviously, lock, unlock. You can open the rear lift gate automatically right there, and remote start. And the dealership did add this window tint. You might notice that's pretty dark. So let's talk a little bit about exactly what you have there. 40 on the front windows, 25 here on these side windows on the rear and middle and rear seat area, and then 12 is what you will have back here on the rear. Now, you are supposed to be able to tow up to 3,500 pounds with this Pilot. And what about your cargo capacity? Well, obviously you can maximize that. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. A little bit hard to do sometimes that way, but we'll let one side down. Those obviously fold a little bit more flat than that, but we'll let you see that. You do have your cargo mat right here to help keep everything nice and safe. and there is space underneath the floor. You can flip this floor, in fact, as you can see right here. There's a plastic side to that, or if you're not using the cargo mat, you do have carpet underneath as well, just in case you're wondering. And let's talk a little bit about what you will find when you maximize your cargo capacity. And let me just let down one more side here. To lay the seats flat here with the middle row seats, all you have to do is grab that, and I don't know if I can do this one-handed. There we go, it went down on its own. But as you can see, there's why that seat didn't go all the way down. But that's how you're going to be maximizing your cargo capacity. And those numbers range between, on the low end, 18 cubic feet up to a maximized 87 cubic feet. A fairly large cargo area within the vehicle. And something I haven't demonstrated in all of my videos, but some of you might have a question about this. For those of you who have small kids, or big kids, it doesn't really matter, does it? If they're sitting back here with their legs dangling off and for some reason the rear lift gate starts to come down, is it going to sandwich them in between that and the bumper? Well, let's find out. I'll give you a first person look. Here's what's going to happen. I have something to block the way right there, and as you can see, when it gets down and senses that something is in the way, which obviously I put the front license plate bracket in there to kind of help demonstrate that, it's going to stop and go back up so there's no injuries. And as you can see, it's going to go all the way back down. Now, let's work our way back into the interior, the black interior here, and I wanted to show you something. You can wonder what kind of space will rear seat passengers have for legroom. Well, as you can see, and I know I've gone all the way up, but I have this seat all the way back and the seat on the right hand side all the way forward. So what we'll do is we will hit the button right here and let that move forward on its own. I have to push that just a little bit. Let's hop inside and give you a first person view of what this looks like with me in here. Now, as you can see, with the seat all the way back, well, I don't have a whole lot of leg room. Maybe for a few minutes around town or something like that as an adult at 5'10", I might be okay back here, but I think I'd be a little bit better off on the other side, but honestly, a whole lot better in the middle. So, gonna have air conditioning vents back here. I'll show you that. In fact, we'll try this other side. Maybe the lighting's a little bit better for you. There is your air conditioning vent. And there's also some cup holders right here and whatever else anybody back here wants to use that space for. And obviously quite a bit in the way of lighting. There's lighting here for the rear seat passengers, and as you can see up there in the front area for the middle row passengers. And then if for some reason whoever's in the middle jumps out and forgets to let everyone out of the back seat, well, all they have to do is hit that button right there and then push that seat forward. It's very easy to do, and then hop right out. And from this angle, before I forget, what about door bins? Well, as you can see, you've got a decent sized door bin there, and then 2 cup holder options on the door itself. And let's not forget about these shades, one on each door, if for whatever reason your rear seat passengers want that. I can't imagine that they would need that here because of the window tint that has been added by Holmes Honda. Now, if you were going to sit in the rear seat and you said, I need more door bin space than what I'll have back there, well, here you go. Call shotgun, because you have the lower and the upper door bins here. A little bit of extra space up here. So, and this door bin down here is obviously larger. So, hey, there is that. And if somebody said, hey, what is the frame number on your Honda Pilot? I'd like to know. Well, guess what? It's right here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. There we go. There is your frame number. Why that's right there, I don't honestly know. Somebody can probably tell me down in the comments section, but there it is. And you do have all season floor mats that come with this vehicle. They're not installed right now, but that is something else that Honda has added, Holmes Honda has added here. Power passenger and driver seats, and we really already took a look at what you have here as far as that goes with the stitching, the TrailSport logo. But let's take a look here in some of the storage space. The glove box, is that aptly named or not? I really wonder. Who puts gloves in their glove box? You'd have to have some really big gloves to fill that up, but there is a lot of space there. That's a good thing. And you do have the armrests right here that you can obviously use if you want to. I find those to be comfortable. And then I always think of a garage door when it comes to opening the lid here on the center console, which reveals quite a bit of space down there. I don't know that you can see the connectivity down there as well. It's a little bit dark in here, but we'll try and do what we can to show you that. But you do have a USB connection and a 12-volt power outlet, and you also have another 12-volt and another USB right here above your wireless charging pad, so that makes things nice and easy. And by the way, I didn't forget, yes, you do have connectivity. In fact, you have tri-zone climate control here in this Pilot. Obviously, you've got the controls here for your rear zone climate control, and then down there on the bottom, 2 more USB ports for a total of 4 throughout the entire vehicle. And then last but not least, something else. I know a lot of you like the sunroof option, but I think you're ready to see Honda add a panoramic sunroof. Tell me down in the comments what your thoughts are on that topic. And as we begin to take a look in through, well, the main area of attraction, most likely for those of you watching this video, because you're probably going to be the driver. Seat memory, 2 different settings here, and then obviously all of the controls here for everything that you would expect to see: your window locks, door locks, power up, down. Since these windows were just tinted, I'm not going to demonstrate those today. And then here are a couple of options as well. You can use this button right here to open and close that power rear lift gate and your gas door. And one thing, while I'm thinking about it, let me make sure that I show this. What about child locks? You might be saying, I don't see child locks anywhere. It's because they're actually on the rear doors on both sides, as you can see here on the left side, and there's also the same thing on the right-hand side. Now, a word of caution. If you buy a Honda Pilot and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're saying, I want to check out the back seat of my Honda Pilot, make sure that at least one of these child safety locks is not in the down position right there, because it's active now. When it's in the up position, it's turned off. Just something that will hopefully save you a little bit of trouble and frustration. And something I know out of habit when I'm driving these Honda Pilots, I come over here looking for the adjustments for the side view mirrors. Well, if you're new to these Pilots, well, that's not where they're located. They're right here on the left-hand side of the dashboard. There's your Econ mode button right there. If you want to drive an Econ mode, it doesn't really slow the vehicle down that much. What it really does is means that it takes longer for the RPM to rise, and in essence what that does is help you to save some gas basically in that respect. And then you can turn some of your traction control and other safety features off right there. And this lever allows you to adjust this tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Now, let's hop inside. We're gonna hit the button right here for starting the engine. That's your start-stop button. It is a push button ignition, so if you're wondering about that, well, there you go. And a quick look at your dashboard. Nothing unusual there or out of the ordinary. No changes for 2022 at least. And then you have your steering wheel mounted controls right here. Pretty easy to figure out what's what. And you do have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters right there. They're pretty small, but they are there on each side for gearing up and gearing down. And they're pretty responsive to the touch of your hand, so you don't count 1/100th, 2/100, whatever, and see how many seconds it takes between when you push it, or pull it I should say, and the gear changes. Some vehicles, well, you can almost do that. And I apologize for the blinking on the screen. That's just part of the issue of dealing with my GoPro here and its shutter speed. So you can see that you have navigation right there, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all those great features right here. You can obviously pair your phone, and it's just such an easy system to use. I really like that. Let's take a look at what your rear view camera is going to look like on this vehicle. 3 different views, so you've got one view there, a second view right here, if I can get that to come up, there we go, and a third view. If you're going to try and tow that 3,500 pound trailer, well, there you go, you could do that. And like I said, you have tri-zone climate control, so we had our single zone in the rear, dual zone here in the front. You can sync those if you want to, or turn that off. Everything easy to figure out right there, I would say. And right here, something we don't need today and won't need for several months to come here in Northwest Louisiana, heated seats. And so basically that pretty much leaves us with not too much left to look at. There is the conversation mirror if you want to show your kids that you're smiling or that you have your angry eyes on in the back seat. Well, there's a way to do that. Just don't do that when you're driving down the road. A public service announcement in case you were wondering. Hopefully I don't need to tell you that. But there you go with that, and here are the controls for your power sunroof up there that we looked at earlier. I'm not going to open that up because you probably know how that looks and how that works. But one thing I do like to do is get these pilots out on the road for a test drive and tell you what that experience is like. Let's go for it right now. Okay, I'm going to get out on the road here, starting off in Econ mode, give you a bit of an idea of how things work. And like I said, when you are in Econ mode, I've said this earlier in the video, I believe, all it does is limit how quickly the RPM of the engine climbs. So ultimately, when you go from Econ into Drive, well, the RPMs are going to climb a little bit higher, a little bit faster. Maybe not higher, but just faster. And then obviously in Sport mode, well, you have Sport mode there as well. And then you do have Snow mode. You have several different driving modes. You have normal, snow, you have mud, and you have sand. I mean, heck, we're driving around in the TrailSport, so you better have some off-road versions, right? Or off-road driving modes, right? And so, just so you know what's there. But when I go into S, I'm gonna hit it real quick. I can definitely tell a difference in how this Pilot accelerates down the road. It's putting as much power to the ground as it can in that respect. I don't know if I should say that too much in the video because, well, this is by no means a high-performance vehicle, that's for sure. Wow, what would you think about that? Would you like to see maybe a Honda Pilot SI, or dare I say we see a Pilot Type R? That would be interesting. What do you think about that? Tell me in the comments, or tell Honda down in the comments more importantly, because they might actually say, hey, that's something we should do. That would be interesting to see. I don't know that we'll see it, but anyway, these Pilots are always enjoyable to drive. They have a nice, smooth ride quality. The seating itself is comfortable here in the front, and I say that because, well, I don't have anybody to put in the driver's seat today, so I can sit in the middle and rear seat area and tell you what that experience is like. But I would imagine it's not too bad. So as far as learning the vehicle goes, because there is a lot of technology here that I know a lot of people are saying, well, I've never had this kind of technology before. I'm kind of afraid of it. You know, I've had people that have said that in the comments section on these videos before. Well, here's the thing. There are some vehicles out there that are much more challenging to learn as far as the newer technology than others. Honda is not one of those. So no matter which Honda you choose to buy, whether it's this Pilot or a Civic or a Ridgeline or whatever it is, the technology here is simple to learn, simple to use. It's just once you get used to it, you're going to say to yourself, wow, that wasn't so bad. So overall, very high marks here. The driving experience is good. To me, the brake pedal feels a tiny bit soft, but keep this in mind. That is because my daily driver has a fairly aggressive brake pedal. So to me, hopping into another vehicle, well, it might feel soft, and someone else might hop in here and say, no, that feels perfectly balanced to me. So whatever it is you're used to, well, that's what's going to kind of determine what you ultimately think the vehicle is doing when it comes to brake pedal and how the gas pedal operates and all that. The acceleration is really solid here. When I drop the pedal, if I need to accelerate up to a higher speed limit, it doesn't have any trouble getting there. So overall, a lot of storage, very comfortable, plenty of power to get down the road. There's a lot of space for cargo capacity, for what the passengers need to store, for what you might need to haul in the rear cargo area. So overall, as always have to give high marks to these Pilots. It will be very interesting to see what is officially coming with the 2023 version of the Pilot. I believe that will be worth the wait if that's what you're waiting for. But in the meantime, if you want something that's a little bit out of the ordinary, such as what we've looked at today, then with this Pilot TrailSport, well, this is definitely something you need to head to your local Honda dealership and check out if they have one there. If not, well, you've got this video to help out. You can always run down and order one. And that is a look at the 2022 Honda Pilot TrailSport. Tell me what you think about that. Do you think this is the best trim level of the Pilot? If not, tell me why, or if so, tell me why. I'm curious to know what you think. I have to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this model for the day, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.